the stronger my faith has gotten.
When Sydney Colson of the Las Vegas Aces decided to walk away from a championship dynasty, the entire WNBA world was left in shock. She wasn't just leaving a winning team, she was stepping away from being part of the most powerful locker room in the league. A locker room led by her best friend, A'ja Wilson. But now, Sydney Colson's latest interview has dropped a bombshell. She's not just switching teams, she's exposing what she calls an anti-Caitlin Clark agenda inside the WNBA, and she's rejecting it outright. This isn't gossip, this is a turning point for women's basketball. Today, we're breaking down exactly what Sydney said, what it means for Caitlin Clark, and how her decision might just change the WNBA forever. Let's start with the facts. Sydney Colson isn't just another player. She's one of the most respected voices in the league. Known for her leadership, humor, and authenticity, Colson has long been a glue player, the type of teammate every team wants. So when she chose to leave the Las Vegas Aces, people assumed it was about playing time or money. But it turns out, it wasn't about that at all. In a recent sit-down interview, Colson admitted she was tired of the politics. She didn't say names outright, but fans and insiders picked up on every hint. She said, "There's a difference between competing hard and being told who you should dislike. I didn't sign up for that." Those words hit hard, because everyone knew who she was referring to. Ever since Caitlin Clark entered the league, the tension between her and several WNBA veterans, including A'ja Wilson and others, has been impossible to ignore. And now, Colson seems to be saying, the tension isn't organic, it's being encouraged behind the scenes. Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA changed everything. She's not just a rookie, she's a brand, a movement, a symbol of women's basketball breaking into mainstream attention. She brought in millions of new fans, boosted TV ratings, and filled arenas that were half empty just a year ago. But not everyone loved it. Veteran players began to express frustration. Some said she was getting special treatment. Others accused the media of only caring about one player. It reached the point where some players began to play her extra physical, even crossing the line at times, and fans noticed. But what Sydney Colson revealed is that this wasn't just emotional jealousy or competitiveness. She hinted that it was a coordinated culture of resentment. In her words, when someone new brings light to the game, you either embrace it or try to dim it. And I saw too many people trying to dim it. She didn't say Caitlin's name, but the message was crystal clear. According to Colson, there were team meetings and locker room conversations where certain players were encouraged to make a statement when facing Caitlin Clark, not in a friendly, competitive way, but in a tone that made Colson uncomfortable. She explained that she wanted no part in targeting a rookie who's done nothing but play hard and uplift the league. That's when she decided enough was enough. Now here's where it gets emotional. Sydney Colson and A'ja Wilson weren't just teammates, they were best friends. They've shared championships, interviews, and countless viral moments together. So for Colson to leave the Aces, the two-time defending champions, and join the Indiana Fever of all teams speaks volumes. In the interview, Sydney didn't attack A'ja directly, but she did say, when your loyalty starts costing you your peace, it's not loyalty anymore, it's control. That's one of the most powerful statements we've heard from a WNBA player this year. It suggests that she felt pressured to go along with a culture that she didn't believe in, one that was turning the locker room against Caitlin Clark, both publicly and privately. A'ja Wilson, as the face of the Aces and one of the most outspoken voices in the league, has been criticized before for downplaying Caitlin Clark's impact. From post-game comments to subtle social media shade, the tension has been visible to anyone paying attention. And for Colson to walk away from that environment, to join the very team that represents the heart of the Caitlin Clark movement. So why the Indiana Fever? Why now? Because Colson sees what the Fever are building, and she wants to be part of it. She's joining a young, hungry team centered around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, two players redefining what women's basketball looks like. According to sources close to Colson, respects her too. When asked about Colson possibly joining the Fever, Clark said, "She's someone I've always admired. She brings energy, humor, and experience. That's the kind of leadership we need." Imagine that, a rookie superstar openly praising a veteran who once played for her biggest rival. That kind of mutual respect is exactly what the WNBA needs right now. Because while the league has grown dramatically thanks to Caitlin Clark's influence, it's also become divided. The old guard and new era clash is real, and Colson stepping into Indiana's locker room could be the bridge that heals that divide. Now let's talk about what Colson actually exposed. In her interview, she claimed that certain league figures, not necessarily team management, but higher-up voices, have been promoting an internal narrative that the league shouldn't become about one player. On the surface, that sounds reasonable, but in practice, it's become an anti-Caitlin Clark plan, one that minimizes her accomplishments, undermines her fan support, and encourages players to teach her a lesson. Sydney said, "We say we want the league to grow, but when someone actually makes it happen, we move the goalposts. That's not growth, that's ego." She even revealed that players were told not to feed the Caitlin Clark storylines in interviews or social media, something that aligns with how many veterans have avoided giving her public credit. By walking away from that system, Colson isn't just switching teams. She's taking a moral stance. She's saying, if you really love women's basketball, you should celebrate anyone who helps it grow, no matter who they are. For months, fans have said she's been treated unfairly, from harsh fouls to disrespectful interviews and dismissive comments. Now, a respected veteran has essentially confirmed that much of it was deliberate. That changes everything. It means Clark's rise isn't just about her scoring or shooting. It's about her resilience in the face of a league that, at times, didn't want her to succeed too easily. With Colson in Indiana, Caitlin now has a veteran ally who's seen both sides. Someone who can help the locker room balance youth with experience, competitiveness with unity. This could transform the Fever not just into a playoff team, but into the heart of a cultural shift in the WNBA. Sydney Colson's story is more than just about basketball. It's about standing up for fairness, growth, and love for the game. She could have stayed with the champions. She could have kept quiet and kept cashing rings, but instead, she chose to speak truth. And in doing so, she's become one of the most important voices in women's basketball today. And as for Caitlin Clark, she doesn't need anyone to defend her. But knowing that someone from the old guard is willing to stand beside her, that changes everything. Because maybe, just maybe, the WNBA's next great chapter starts not with rivalry, but with respect. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. Do you think Sydney Colson made the right move? And is the WNBA finally ready to embrace Caitlin Clark's impact? We'll see you in the next one.